Hello again. So sorry for coming back a little bit with delay. Uh, it was a bit hectic for me past 2 3 weeks. Yeah, the rest of the story. I started to work at Jupiter Health Swambo, and I named two other doctors that I used to work with, and we also had other staff there. Like we had a practice manager, Jackie. We had two nurses, Liana and Joanne or Joe, and other reception staff like Helen, Glynis, Kimi to some point, and I cannot remember others very precisely. Yeah, it was a normal GP practice, and for me it was very enjoyable to work there. Initially a bit stressful because it was a new workplace, but down the road I started to build up the relationship with patients pretty much a lot, and I liked it because I was seeing that I'm able to work according to guidelines, and I was enjoying it and enjoying to be connected to people. But although I was enjoying it, at the same time, I was facing problems, and those problems becoming bigger and bigger by time. Actually, there were problems that I never thought that I might face it here in Australia. And one of the reasons that I'm doing this video or videos is referring to those problems that most of them are going to be like have been overlooked. I was facing disrespectful behaviors at work. One of them was disrespectful behaviors of two other senior doctors, my supervisor, Dr. Rachel, and clinic principal, Dr. Marish. At the same time, I was facing, let's say, I was observing poor conduct and like low quality of care that they provided for patients, and even in that, to this extent, that interestingly I was under pressure that why I'm spending, because I was requesting that I have enough time to see my patient at least 20 minutes, which was a standard. But I was under pressure to see my patients in 5 minutes, which was against my way of practice, and also against Australian best standards of practice, and many other aspects. So I didn't expect that anyone be able to work with all those requirements. I was not even able to fulfill all of them because I was trying. However, and because of that, I was trying to do my things properly, or like see patients properly at my end. But the interesting point was that I was under pressure to not do it, because my supervisor actually was telling me that when you do this for patients, you make them demanding. Yeah, I was making the local patient demanding because I was answering, I was seeing them thoroughly, and even I was calling them after starting a medication, following on them, and this was not a proper practice because that actually would put them mm, under the pressure of raised expectations of the local people. Another matter was that senior doctors there, Dr. Marashi and Dr. Hadipur, they were my employers. They had a share 40% in the practice, and one of them was clinic principal, one of them was my supervisor. They had the power over me, but they were doing something in, I would say, unlawful ways sometimes, and that was causing me stress. Like my supervisor decided to leave when I was under supervision level 1. She decided to leave country for 5 weeks. This is totally against medical board's supervision guidelines. When you have a level 1 GP under your supervision, you need to be present at the practice 100% of the time physically. But they said that no, we arranged it, don't worry. And then I worked there, and then after she came back, in a joking manner, they said that no, we didn't arrange anything, and you saw nothing happen actually. And also observing the clinic principal sending a 3-year-old child who was suffering from head trauma and seizure and loss of consciousness without calling ambulance to hospital, which is a very dangerous thing to do. When someone, especially a child, is coming with head trauma and seizure and loss of consciousness, that patient shouldn't be moved 1 meter away from that clinic without paramedics, ambulance, or proper facilities. But because he was running late for his dentist appointment, he didn't see any reason to call ambulance and wait for ambulance to come and hand over the patient. So it meant for him to lose another 30 minutes. And it was a chance for him to lose his appointment, dentist appointment. Yeah, these sort of things happened there. And at the same time, I was confronting them, I was protesting against it because it was, apart from my ethical responsibility, it was also our legal responsibility because I was practicing that. Like for that 3-year-old child, which has been reported, is a reported case to medical board, and I hope, I don't know why it should take that long for the medical board to react to it. But I believe medical board, because I observed at the end of the day, the highest level of management of medical board, they have a very strong belief in protecting the health of the public. And I've observed in other areas in my case, I observed their intervention and their intention to do the right things. But it's still the procedural steps sometimes is not as good as we expect, and we expect medical board to respond properly to these matters, which I'm going to talk about it in more details later. And so seeing these things was painful for me, and at the same time I was under pressure of not practicing properly. That was really funny, actually. Yeah. And I felt unsafe, as it was for any other health workers. Like, for example, for the case of 3-year-old child, the way that I was aware of it was our nurse, Liana, panicking about it. After Dr. Marashi left the practice, she came to my room because she also has a little child, and she was like kind of even heartbroken to see how poorly he was managing that patient who was not even conscious. And we call it GCS in medicine. The GCS was drastically low. And yes, but they saw that they gradually see that they were gradually seeing that practice of Darius in that way, when it is adjacent to our practice in this way, is going to cause problem. Because people, they are going to compare. They are going to compare, and then they are going to choose. And that choice of people to see the new doctor, the new junior doctor, after 2 years or 3 years of being patient of them, was painful for those two doctors. And they started to increase the amount of their abuse. And even, for example, they were saying me that, why you are seeing mental health patients? I love to work for mental health patients. And I have been doctor for many local patients who needed that mental health care. And they said that, why you are seeing mental health patients? I said that, so what is the problem with it? They were saying that you shouldn't see that much of mental health patients, so you should see other patients too. So I'm seeing a variety of patients, and mental health patients are from variety of patients group. They said that you don't have qualification. I said, what do you mean I don't have qualification? I'm a medical doctor. And yeah, they made up, and then they said that, why you are spending time with them, because with mental health patient you need to spend 40 minutes, sometimes 1 hour, because you need to listen to their story of life, and you need to be very thorough with them. Even with other patients, the preferred way is to see patients in details. And I was not believing it that I'm seeing these things, actually, because I was not, like, I was in shock sometimes that why it is happening. What is their point, actually? How can they have this, how can they can be so arrogant to tell you something that it is obviously against Australian guidelines? Once I have a discussion with my supervisor, and she told me that, why you are spending that much of time with patients? I said that, is it against Australian guidelines? And she said that, don't bring up Australian guidelines for me. This is my roof, my rule. And I told her that, sorry Rachel, I didn't came to this country, and I didn't actually leave all my loved ones. I just came here with my wife, and all other family members are thousands of kilometers away from me. I didn't come here to hear these things, and you are obviously wrong about this fact. But she said that it is what it is. whenever you want, you can terminate you, and you can not do anything. And I said that, for what? For what reason? It would be unfair dismissal. And she said that, don't bring up these legal things and terms for me. I know all of them. And I said that, so if you know all of them, you wouldn't actually leave me, you wouldn't leave me alone, like while I was under level 1 supervision, and she panicked after that. And yeah. Unfortunately, these were things that I was facing, and there are also more prominent events that I was facing there. Next session, I'm going to talk about a few more prominent events of that I faced during my work at Jupiter Health Swanborough. See you soon.